Hello beautiful people, Hannah here and welcome back to Insta360 TV. The star of today's show is going to be this little guy, the Insta360 ONE R 1-inch edition, which uses the Leica 1-inch lens. Fun fact about this camera is, of course, it does everything that an action camera should do, but it also takes photos, in fact, very high resolution photos. So in today's episode, we're going to show you how to make long exposure raw photos at night time, and then a really easy way to put them all together to get a really professional looking slick time lapse. Let's dive in. Why not just shoot video and then speed it up in post? Well, when you're shooting it into raw photos, each frame you're going to have a lot more information to play with. It's around 37 megabytes per frame, but the end result is totally worth it, you'll see, so stick with us. This next part might confuse you. We're going to be using ND filters today. Why neutral density filters, I hear you ask? Imagine ND filters as sunglasses, but for your camera. They decrease the amount of light hitting the sensor. The higher the number, the stronger the filter. Because of how long each shot is, a lot of light is entering the camera, enough to make it really blown out and pretty much useless. That's where neutral density filters come in. The ND will allow each photo to be taken for a longer period of time. When shooting this style of time lapse, it's good to choose locations with a lot of movement and light. Go ahead and select photo. Push the camera settings icon and go from auto to manual. Bring down the ISO to 100. If you need more light, you will just slow the shutter speed. Then set your shutter speed. White balance doesn't matter too much because it can be adjusted later. Then head over to the gear button and select interval shooting. Slide along to the right and make sure that you have RAW and JPEG selected. Push the gear icon once more. Now you're ready for the test shots. Just a quick reminder, if you haven't subscribed already, make sure to do so now. Now we have all these photos, it's time to edit them. First stop is Lightroom, so let's head on over to the program, and I'm going to use an example of one of the time lapses that we took from the footage you've seen throughout this episode. So first, let's import that example. I've got it here, example lapse. So all of them are checked. Let's import them in. We've imported the images, so let's go over to the Develop tab and make some adjustments to enhance the image. First up, let's make it cooler. Next, let's decrease the highlights to bring out more details and increase the white so we still have some bright areas. Because we were shooting at night, it's quite dark, so let's also bump up the exposure a little bit. So that the colors are still popping, we're also going to increase the vibrance and the clarity. We're gonna want the image to be nice and level, so we're gonna click Level. And to avoid having any blank areas, we're also going to select Constrain Crop. Just press Ctrl A to select all images, then on the bottom right, click Sync. Check all the little boxes in this pop-up menu and select Synchronize. This will apply the adjustments to every single photo so that we have consistency. Now we are ready for the next step, so let's go ahead and export. Make a new folder and name it as you like. Under the file naming menu, make sure to select Custom Name Sequence. After that, click Export. So that's us done with Lightroom. Now we head over to Premiere, now that we've got our edited images. And then we're gonna import our 152 images. And you might think, how are we gonna do that? All we're gonna do is select that first image, and then down here to the left, it will say Options. We select Image Sequence. And you're gonna see here, instead of 152 images playing one after the other, we have one time lapse, like so. And now that we're over in Premiere, you can play around with the speed, you can put keyframes to personalize it any way that you like. But after all is said and done, all we need to do is go over to there, export, and choose your desired resolution. And at the end of it all, we have our time lapse. That is all for today's 1-inch time lapse episode. I can't wait to see what you guys do with this effect. And if you run into any troubles or if you have any questions that were left unanswered in this episode, just leave a comment down below and I will be there to answer all of your questions. As always, thank you so much for watching. Lots of love. Don't forget to subscribe and I will see you for the next one.